right, well, that's maybe not what you want to see first thing in the morning, but there's a reason why we're bringing you grubs onto our show today. Thom Bourne is from Nutri-Lawn. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Pleasure.
You're going to tell us about what we need to do to prepare our lawn for the fall and so that it's beautiful when the spring comes.
Absolutely. First thing we should look at or talk about is the drought that happened in Ottawa, because it was just an amazing situation. We've never seen anything like it. We probably never will. But that actually killed a lot of lawns. Anybody that was not doing the proper watering or didn't have good cultural habits in terms of cutting and watering beforehand, a lot of their lawn is dead. So for those people, what they need to do, if it's a massive damage, they need to get it resodded. If it's not massive, though, what they can do is just use the right type of seed, get the seed into their lawn, because they can do that with straight overseeding. They can do slit seeding. They can do hydro seeding. A lot of different methods that they can do now, right now, because this is the time when the seed wants to germinate and help it into the fall and spring.
How do you know if it's too far gone and you have to resod it? Like, because everyone's lawn in this city is brown.
If it hasn't started to green up yet, then you have a lot of damage, and start thinking about getting the overseeding done or the sodding or whatever it is that you need to. And a professional lawn care company will come out, give you some ideas as to what you need, and let you know what's right and wrong. But what's coming up next is even worse, which is the grub situation. And the grubs were huge this spring. Again, it was the biggest grub season that we've seen. It's going to be even bigger this fall. And what happens with that, and we have a picture of the grubs, actually the beetles, is these are the European shapers, and these are the ones that are in the lawns right now. This is the first instar. They're starting to nibble away at the roots. They're going to keep doing that right through till fall, and they'll destroy a lawn between now and the fall. But it's not the grubs so much that are going to actually cause all the damage. It's the rodents that come out of the forest and the trees and start digging them up, the raccoons and the skunks.
Right, there we're looking at the picture right now.
Yeah, if you look at the top picture, that's the beetle that was flying around in the summertime, and that beetle laid the eggs, which turned into the grubs in the bottom two pictures. And so it's a one-year life cycle. First the beetles, and now the grubs are there. They'll eat the lawn, the rodents eat the grubs for food, and that's where all the destruction comes from. So it's important to solve that, or to prevent a lot of that damage, to have nematodes applied now. The nematode window closes in the next couple of weeks. If you don't have your application done by the first week of October, it's not going to get done because they're ineffective.
Okay, so here's a before and after. This is with nematodes and this is without.
Yeah, this is one of the bad areas in the city, and you can see there's still a little bit of damage when you had nematodes, which is, they only control up to about 60%, but if you had no nematodes, then that's the type of damage that you're going to see. And that is everywhere in the city now. It's just absolutely terrible. So nematodes need to get down to prevent this grub damage from really happening.
And this is the time of year when we have to put that extra care into the lawn for it to be nice in the spring, right? Once all that snow melts and the grass starts growing again, it's the work we do now that we'll see the benefits in the springtime.
Absolutely, absolutely. And people need to change their habits now, get their cutting height up. They need to start deciding how they're going to water, make sure they water on a regular basis. Nutrients are critical, and the right type of nutrients. You know, nutrients that we use here in Ottawa, not someplace down in Toronto or whatever. And of course, the right type of seed, etc. Also, it's a good time of year to do some top dressing. And it's not just going out and buying some soil that's weed infested. It's getting something that is weed-free top dressing. And this is just a top dressing. So we put a thin layer over the lawn, which adds all sorts of nutrients to the lawn, which just value-packed with things that it needs to get it going as well. Because again, that's going to be stored into the roots. It's going to be stored into the grass blade. So in the spring, when your lawn is coming back up, it's going to come up beautifully. You can have the best lawn on the
There's nothing better than a nice, lush green lawn. And we've certainly really been fighting with it this year. It's been a tough year.
We have, yeah.
But it's not too late. We can save the lawn.
Many of the lawns we can save. Every one that we get back on, we evaluate it. We decide whether or not we can. We let the homeowner know if they can do it. Unfortunately, some you can't because they haven't done anything, but many we can.
All right, well, NutriLawnOttawa.com is how people can get more information, how they can contact you, the experts, because for most of us, this is probably far above our heads, and you can do all the work and make sure that the lawn is going to be absolutely beautiful. Thank you very much, Thom.
Thank you, Annette. Good to see you.
All right. Hopefully you can have a nice lawn this summer.